Well, hello there. It's JoJo Shabadoo, and I thought 2 months away from the release of Cities Skylines 2, I should start my first Cities Skylines video. Let's make it a series and start a new build. No, not that one. That one was a fail. Let's start a new one. I'm going to use a map by Mr. Miyagi and Teddy Radko, and it is called Tampico, Mexico. And I think instead of Santa Palma, maybe SanShabbadoo. Let's do SanShabbadoo. Now, the concept that I have for this was inspired by Akruas and his video about linear cities. And one of the main ideas is that the cargo network and the private residential network are separated. He did it with a bit of traffic manager, but also he had double highways. Now, I'm probably not going to do double highways, at least at first. So there will be a mix of residential and commercial traffic on the highway. But what I want to do is have separate interchanges and use Traffic Manager, of course, to ban all the trucks off of the residential interchange and ban all the cars off of the industrial commercial interchange. And as much as possible, try to keep the road network separate from each other and only connect them with walking paths and maybe some transit later on. So that is the concept. And I already tried, you may have seen just for a second there at the beginning, network setup. And then I realized I didn't like it. It was just too connected. So I'm going to try something different this time. One of the features of this map that made me choose it, besides the beautiful map made by Mr. Miyagi and the amazing bridge made by Teddy Radko, was that there are these two interchanges, service interchanges, right near each other in the starting tile. So I'm making the one on the left, the one for personal vehicles, and the one on the right, the one for commercial vehicles. And as you can see here, this is one of the things that I'm doing to keep those networks separate. I'm making an overpass here because the road going over is going to be a commercial road, and the road underneath is a residential road. So I'm trying to, I don't have walking pathways at the beginning, so what I'm trying to do here is to make the roads close enough, using Move It, of course, so that even though the roads aren't connected, the sidewalks will be connected. This here in the center, I'm deleting it, but I'm leaving just one segment there because that's going to be a tram line later on. That's my plan. So I want to have that one little segment there just to remind me that's where the tram line is going. I think I'm going to make this top road here is also a commercial road. Thinking a lot about the normal proportions of residential to commercial and industrial. So taking that into account, I think everything past that collector road there on the right is going to be pretty much industrial, right? So I want the commercial roads to go in between the residential roads, but then the industrial roads are over to one side. And I'm using these really great planning roads by Bicky Monster on the workshop. And of course, you can build as many roads as you want, and they don't cost anything until you upgrade them into regular roads. So here I'm going to probably have my main starting industrial area. I kind of want to save the area above this because it looks like it has some fertile land. So what I want to do here, though, is create a one-way loop connected to the arterial road. So I'm also planning to put my first power plants down here. I like to start with wind power. I know coal plants are more economical, but I don't know. I guess I'm just a hippie. I want the wind power, even though it's more expensive. So here I'm using the network multi-tool to make a roundabout, and I was having a little bit of difficulty getting it to find the nodes and make it into a circle. Sometimes when they're close together, it doesn't find them, but here we go. So this is going to be a roundabout because all of that industrial and commercial traffic is going to be going through that intersection. Don't think I need it over on the residential side. There's probably not going to be a huge volume of traffic there. We'll see, maybe later on. Okay, so let's get this started here. I guess first thing I should do is to go ahead and ban the traffic before I forget. You can see my system is struggling here to keep up running the game and running OBS at the same time. So yeah, hopefully I can upgrade my system soon, because this is not really working too well. Okay, apply restrictions to entire road. And let's do that on this side. I usually like to try these different systems or concepts or modular builds when I'm making city designs. I've experimented with more realistic, more organic styles, but for some reason I just like to have like a philosophy, that I can apply to the whole system. I've tried really modular type stuff, octagons, hexagons, concentric circles, although it is good to pay attention to the terrain and do things a little bit more organically. So ultimately, I sort of do a combination of both. Okay, so first thing, I guess, is to go ahead and upgrade these roads. I'm going to leave this area in the middle open for a little green space, probably. And I might need to just temporarily build a little road there just so that people can walk to the commercial and industrial areas more easily. Okay, we'll just start with this, and let me just make a little temporary road. All right, and this is a great new feature. To be able to turn off the zones. Okay, yeah, this is one of the side effects of my old, weak laptop. Is it really, I have to click on everything 2 or 3 times. So yeah, I'm getting a new system soon, or I'm planning to, I hope to. All right, and I need to think about water and power. Looks like there is some good wind happening. It is going to be an issue, though, with noise, because I'm planning to have some residential stuff over here. We'll figure that out later. That is the only windy area. Okay. Water. The drain pipe. I like to use the eco one. Actually, I want to use this eco water treatment plant. And I am planning to do some farming over here, so I don't want that purple pollution. Yuck. Will it fit here? No, it won't. Okay, that's all right. I'll stick it here. Like that. Okay, so that's enough to start with. Let's get the roads ready for the industrial area. I have to ban the car traffic over here and apply that to the entire road. Now that should be enough, but just to make sure, probably want to do it on these connecting roads as well. Sometimes it doesn't work, and you see trucks and cars going where they're not supposed to. Very naughty. All right, I guess I'm going to need to upgrade this before it'll let me ban traffic. And I need to do that on the other side as well. All right. Let's get these and this. And yeah, these planning roads, they let you get all of your future plans made, and then you don't have to actually pay for them until you're ready to use them. So that's the best thing about them. I'm going to go ahead and do this again to remove the zoning here. I don't want any zoning on my arterials. Collectors, yes. Arterials, no. Actually, collectors not on this particular one. I don't want the collectors to have zoning either. I think I'm going to have to turn the anarchy back on because that road is so close. So only the local roads will have zoning. Okay. I think I'm ready to start zoning. Let's see. Oh, I need to finish this. Let's get a one-way road. I see, yeah, this is... I clicked on it, but then it didn't select it. Really is a challenge here, trying to work with all this lag. I could have just waited until I got my new system to start this series, but I don't know. I just was ready to jump in. I don't want to wait anymore. Oh, okay. So yeah, this actually is going to be zoned. The other thing about leaving this space here next to my arterials is I'm planning to put some more transit in there later. This would be a place where I might want to put some railways, maybe some trams, some metros, things like that. The last map, I was using a lot of tram roads, and they're good in a pinch, but I think on this map I really want my trams to be by themselves, because one of the things that was causing traffic problems on my last map was actually the trams getting in the way of the cars. And even when the trams have their own lane, they're still blocking the car traffic whenever there's an intersection or a roundabout. And rather than some of the complicated solutions that I was using, like I had some special tram roundabouts and experimented with all kinds of funky interchanges. I think better to just keep them separate, especially because the trams are going to be connecting the different districts, even though the road networks are going to be independent of each other. Okay, I don't want to build too much, and I need to go to my budget here and turn everything down to begin with. Actually, probably not the electricity. The electricity, I think I'm going to fully fund at that. But the roads and the water. All right, let's zone this up. And actually, I made a special road that just is a regular road with no zoning. And that was before we had this tool. But what I often find is if I end up moving it or adjusting it and the zoning isn't toggled, it'll come back on and it might break some of my zones that are already developed. All right. I think I can zone some more of this. Oh, and I connected that, didn't I? I don't want these to be connected. What I should do is add a node as close as I can. And then break that segment. And then, now, I'm pretty sure, I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm pretty sure if you make the textures connect like this on the sidewalks, then pedestrians will be able to walk on it, walk across to the other road, but the cars won't be able to. That's the plan, at least. We'll see how that works. Starting to get just a little bit of, this should be the no zone road too. Just the beginnings of that commercial and industrial demand. I like to go real slow developing stuff right at the beginning. So I'm just going to make one commercial and maybe two industrial. Yeah, let me get rid of those trees too. I haven't yet, whoops, that's the wrong way. I haven't yet made a forestry brush for this map yet. I want to look and see what are the trees that Mr. Miyagi used and kind of follow that same, try to replicate that same sort of grouping and percentage of trees. So I'm going to do that probably later after this episode is over. So yeah, my first video, City Skylines video, please try to excuse my poor performance. And my computer's poor performance. All right, okay, lots of demand here. Maybe one more commercial. Ah, yes, I can't fix the terrain there yet. I'm going to have to live with it for a little while. But I do want to kind of let this road continue being a raised there because of the way the water is flowing. It might just decide to flood this industry area. But I do want it to be flat and level with these roads. Typically, I like to have a walking path down the middle, but I think I can just leave a space there. Starting to make just a little bit of money. That's always good to see that you're in the green. Let's check. How is the electricity? Plenty. Water, plenty. Now I turned that down already. Oh, not the electricity. Let me turn the electricity down then and see. Okay, so I've got more electricity than, oh, no, I don't. I have to give it a second. All right, let's try that. Nope. There we go. So 70%. Okay, more residential, more industry. There's still one that hasn't developed yet over here. Where am I going to expand my residential next? I'm thinking I'm going to stay in the middle and do it this way. So now that we're generating a little bit of income, I think I'm ready to upgrade and start developing the next section. Whoops. Turn that back on. Now the way I made these roads, probably going to, especially up here, yeah, we've got places where there are too many nodes that are too close together because of the concentric circles. Now let's look at this. So I reduced them over here, but over here I think I still need to remove this node. Nope, this one. And yeah, one of the things about Cities Skylines 2 is some of these mods are just so awesome and just so very useful. And I've gotten so accustomed to using them. I might struggle a little bit when I start playing vanilla stuff again, because it's just, you know, I really like these mods, especially this group that I have here. These four, super, super useful for making networks. Okay, so I think we're a little more than halfway to our first milestone. Think about where I'm going to put this stuff. Schools. Okay, I've already fixed the nodes there. So this is a handy feature, being able to put the zoning on just one side of the road. I like that a lot. Okay, so we're a little hamlet now. We got a little bit of money. I'm going to go ahead and build our first recycling center. I'm probably going to wait on these parks. These are custom parks you can see by Larry Skylines, and they're pretty awesome because they fill in lots of little tiny spaces. And I've also made some of my own little park assets like that to fit into the tiny spaces. I guess I need to make an asset list. I think I'll add to the asset list as I actually use the assets in the build. But I'm going to wait for now and just focus on getting these first services going here. Now, the community school is a little more expensive and has a little bit less capacity than the vanilla school. But I don't know. I just really like them. So I tend to use them even though they cost more money. This is one that I made with Road Builder. It's just One unit, one lane, one way, but it also has some parking. So that's pretty handy. Now, I just remembered something. I'm planning to have transit go straight through the middle here. I can't really put a school there if the transit's going straight through there. So I need to think of something different. Okay. School has to go to the side. Okay, I've got lots of industry demand here. Folks need jobs. Maybe, yeah, I'll just keep zoning over here. A lot of builders will zone some industry just to kind of start, and then they'll get rid of it later. And I've done that, and it is a decent way of doing it. But then later on, you really do need a little bit of this generic vanilla industry. I think I've got the industry DLC, and I'm probably going to build a lot of that kind of industry later. But as far as really supplying your commercial areas with goods, the generic vanilla industry seems to do it the best. And something that I learned, I forget who I learned this from, but if you can keep your commercial areas supplied locally, that reduces your traffic because they don't have to import it, and that's what the outside connections is all about. So we can see here, we don't really have any outside connections right now. And I want to try to keep that balanced as the game goes so that I'm not having to import and export a whole lot. Mostly just to reduce traffic. Okay, I'm going to leave this clear for pathway later. And I need to build that school. This is a really nice mod, toggle it, because sometimes when you're in that info view, you know, it's really just kind of hard to see what your builds are going to look like. You know, I mean, it's good to know the info, but once you kind of have a good idea of how an asset works and how a service has, what kind of coverage area it has and whatnot, you don't really need the info that much. Okay, let's get this road again, and I'm going to put it make a nice little loop around here. Just to get the school off of the road a little bit. And I'm going to save a spot probably here to put a playground. Guess I can build a medical clinic. I like the European style, but it's kind of big. I think I'll start off. We'll just put this next to the school here. Don't think I want to have residences right next to the highway. So, maybe that's where the medical clinic should be. Let's do it just on one side so that I can have nice zones. Okay, this one I'm probably going to need to delete a couple of nodes. Yeah, I think so. Um, what is up with that? Okay. Hey, you know we've got streets that you can use. And then they're walking the other way. They parked. What's going on? Where are they going? They're going home. Okay. But they drove across the grass, parked at the medical clinic, and now they're walking to their home, which I guess is probably over here. Not enough electricity. Ah. Okay, I've got my notifications turned off. Ah, I've got to build that recycling center before I do anything else. That is an issue. And I don't have enough money. Time for a loan. So this is the other thing that I forgot to do. Whoops. And yeah, every build guide tells you to do this, and it is very effective. I'm thinking, Cities Skylines 2 obviously is going to be a lot more complicated than just turn the taxes up to 12. Which actually, I'm cool with that. I'm looking forward to it being more challenging. Some of the old city builder games, SimCity 4, was very challenging as far as managing everything. And I like that. I like it. It was frustrating sometimes. But what is it? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Something like that. Okay, I'm guessing I'm probably going to need to maybe crank that all the way back up to 100%. Ah, I've got to build another one. So having the networks completely separate does mean something that I haven't thought about. How are the garbage trucks going to get to the residential areas? Which means I'm going to have a recycling center for the residents. Now, these recycling centers, they pollute quite a bit. So I want to put it somewhere that's going to be far away from the residences. Yeah, I'm going to have to make a connection, aren't I? But I need to make sure that only service vehicles can use this road. So let's do the vehicle restrictions. I'm gonna ban all vehicles, but then we'll allow garbage trucks, ambulances, and then of course later I'll probably want to allow taxis and buses. Okay. So I can't keep them completely separate. Maybe later I'll have separate systems, but I will probably want to connect the buses. Oh, this still says Los Palma. It's supposed to be SanShabbadoo. Residential area is filling up. Okay, now I've got to figure out where I'm going to put another windmill. Yeah, see, that is so noisy. It's even going to affect my residential area. Well, I think I'm going to fudge a little bit here. And move this, even though it wouldn't let me build it there before. I think it's fine. I'll give it a little more space. As soon as I'm able, there's lots of opportunity here for the advanced wind turbines out in the water. I'm going to leave this for a pedestrian path later on. Okay, let's look and see here. Pedestrians walking, yep. I'm wondering if they're able to cross here. all just using that one, aren't they? Yeah, see, you're not supposed to be there. Oh, did I just hit another milestone? I think so. Worthy Village. Hooray. Well, I guess that's a good place to go ahead and end the episode. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Hope you'll come back for the next one. And I will see you then.